It has come down to 2 boats in the final round of the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. Baden Gray leading on 149 points. His teammate and brother-in-law, Bevan Muir, second on 138 points. And the fly perhaps in the ointment is Red Smith, the veteran, third on 134 points. Well, we were here in round 2 for the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships, and we're back for the grand finale. This is the Tauhara Nikau racecourse, and it's the home of the Oldfields Aquatrack. And look at the points. Baden Gray on top with 149 points, his teammate in second place, and Red Smith in third. They are the 3 boats, the 3 combinations that will decide the national title for 2010. And this is Red Smith and his wife, Julie, just going through last-minute preparations here.
All I got to do is drop into the top 8, and I've definitely got third. So kind of straight after the top 8, I'm going to have to go like a mother and see if we can pull a first. And if we pull a first, then we'll get second overall. So still Baden, and it's still a sort of a Bevan and Red show at this stage. Yeah, it'll be all over once Baden makes the top 8.
Well, Bevan Muir in the mix as well. There he is getting ready in Ting Tools Racing. Kathy Barker sits alongside him.
I've got a very slight chance, and if Baden goes wrong in the top 16, so we'll, that's my only hope, really.
Mate, he's going to drive that thing round like it's about 5 miles an hour in the top 16, isn't he?
Yeah, but I've had my voodoo doll out all week and given it a good poke, so we'll see how he goes.
Ting Tools Racing has won every single round so far. We're up to round 6, and this man is on the cusp of glory. Baden Gray was born in Morrinsville but now resides in Auckland, where he runs his own mortgage company. He is the second driver of Ting Tools Racing Wicked A, which he double drives with his brother-in-law Bevan Muir. He races major opposition as his brother-in-law in the extremely competitive Group A class, but says there's always plenty of other drivers to look out for.
Game plan is just have to get to the top 8. I've worked it all out, as long as I get 8th today, which as a worst case scenario I'll have the championship. So that's my focus for now. Once I've got through the top 8, the stress is off, and I can have some fun and go for it.
Well, the fun went away. This is the top 16, and this is the champion-elect. This is Baden Gray in Ting Tools Racing. And have a look here, because he is about to go wrong. Well, unbelievably, has he succumbed to the pressure? Has it gone wrong for Ting Tools Racing? Have a look on the split screen. His teammate, Bevan Muir, does it right. Baden Gray, unfortunately for him, on the cusp of greatness, does it wrong. He turns hard right, goes over his own wash. Shouldn't have done that. And has he thrown away a championship? He had an 11-point lead going in. Has he thrown it all away? There's still Red Smith and Bevan Muir to come. Oh, look, you wouldn't want to be Baden Gray right now, I'm sure of it.
It's been a big week where I didn't get down here till midnight. We had to rebuild the motor on Thursday night. Yeah, and I've had a dream season, but I just lost my way. I didn't even realise I needed to go up that channel, so it was just a brain fade. That's how cruel the sport is. But you can just get a blank and think you have to go somewhere else, and yeah.
How does it feel? You've had a dream season. You were looking at that bar tonight going, I'm going to shout the world because I'm going to be the New Zealand champion, and now you're not.
Hey, save me some money. No, it's a bummer, of course it is, but I'm still wrapped with our season. We've had 4 wins. We've had 4 wins in a second. Apart from today, like, we were unstoppable. So I had 11-point margin. If we had a drop round, I would have still won. So there's a few guys wanting a drop round next season. Perhaps I might be voting for it too.
Well, it doesn't mean the championship is over, but it's just made it very hard for Baden Gray. Let's get the reaction of the other protagonists. Firstly, his teammate, Bevan Muir.
You know, like I said to you earlier, it's not over till it's over, and we had our bad day at round 1. You know, it's pretty hard to go through this competition with all this pressure and not do something wrong, and I feel sorry for him, I really do.
It's a real heartbreaker.
Yeah, it's very confusing for me, but we'll just have to put our thinking cap on and, go hard for the team.
Now, Baden Gray's mistakes thrown a lifeline to this man, Red Smith.
those guys have been going so well all season, and they've had some real bad luck with that engine failing and having to work on it all last night, and big effort to get it here, and good on them, and to go the wrong way is a hell of an upset for them, and I feel for them, but hey, we'll take it if it's there.
So if we have a look at the top 16, and the first thing you notice is no Baden Gray. Red Smith tops the charts. Bevan Muir in second place. Sam Udick, what a season he's had in International Group A. He's in third, and Ray Ferguson. But unfortunately, if we go to the second page, the writing is on the wall for Baden Gray. He finishes right out of the points, but as I said before, the championship not over yet. We've still got eliminations to go. We've still got to crown a champion in the Scott Waterjet International Group A. So this is the top 8 now. Phil Whelans, all his concern was keeping the vote straight for Red Smith. Red Smith at the top end of the title chase. A 101.87 for Phil Whelans. Good enough for 7th place. 6th place went to Mark Udick and Ollie Silverton in GJ Gardner Homes. This is the boat that Sam Udick will drive, hopefully, to a top 5 position in Scott Waterjet's Group A. This run, 60.61, good enough for 6th place. So this is Richard Murray and Kesty Manning. And since they put the Ford in the boat, Jamie, they haven't looked back.
Yeah, they've done a very, very good job in the second half of the season. Fastest time to this point of 57.63 in the top 16. But Phil, what drama we've had here today with the demise of Baden Gray. But as we've been saying, the championship is not over.
Oh yeah, look, it all depends on how the cards fall. But you got to feel desperately sorry for Baden Gray. I mean, he's had a pretty near clean sheet all season. That boat's been unbeatable right through our 6 rounds. And then it goes wrong at the final. Well, you couldn't have scripted it.
Quick split for Richard Murray, 22.89, looking to go quicker than what he's been doing. If he can get into the 56s here, he might be looking good for a top 4.
Well, this run looks pretty good. Mean Machine is the boat, and as I said, they put the Ford in it, and they haven't looked back, and they've certainly picked up a fan in Pat Dillon, working their way down towards the finish line here. Big crowd in for the final round of the Nationals, and it is a good time. It's going to be under the 57-second mark. It is 56.36 for Richard Murray from Wanganui. So this is Altherm, this is Coldplay, Ray and Nicky Ferguson, veterans of the jet sprinting wars. And look at the times, it's been consistent, but they need to pick up maybe a second if they want to go any further, Jamie.
Yeah, they need to consolidate a good result here for a top 5 finish in the championship overall. An up and down season for the Fergusons, beautifully presented boat. Their quickest time up until this point has been a 57.59 in the top 16. Split, 24.18.
Well, that top 5 is testament to just how fast they've been when they've been fast. You mentioned it before. They've had all sorts of issues. They've had a couple of crashes, mechanical issues, but they're still going to round out the season at the sharp end. That's pretty darn good.
Well, they were a good 2.5 seconds off Richard Murray's split, so they've actually lost a little bit of time in the first half of the lap. They're going to need to pick up the pace to try and get in towards the 4. 56.36, the fastest we've seen so far. What can these guys do? Husband and wife combination. Got their start in the Lights campaign a few years ago now. Flirted with the super boats, but now back in Group A, 57.75. Blake Bryant, son of a famous father in Peter. And this is another combination, Jamie, you could say have had an up and down season. Came on gangbusters in their first season, but they've sort of suffered a little bit from the sophomore slump here. Certainly a younger guy. He doesn't have the experience of the likes of the Baden Grays, Bevan Muirs, the Richard Murrays and obviously Red Smith, but they've been pretty solid, distinctive sounding boats. Split 23.86, so he's quicker than Ferguson.
This is a boat he double drove with his father last season in his first full season. And the reason the boat sounds a little bit different, it's a Marsh Motorsport engine, and they rewrote the rule book when they built this engine up, and so far so good for Blake. Oh, he picks up the island.
He ran wide. That was a big moment for the New Zealand Seafoods Marsh Motorsport wide pointer.
Big moment is saying the understatement of the day. That was nearly curtains for the boy from Gisborne.
I think that's cost them some time, though. This time's just starting to run out. He's in the 58s, 58.47, ranks him 3rd at the moment.
And it eliminates Phil Whelans. Born and raised in Thames, Bevan Muir is a 42-year-old sales manager from Valley Toyota. One of his boat sponsors, getting together over a beer with his brother-in-law Baden Gray, triggered an involvement in the sport of jet sprinting that last year culminated in a national title in the Group A class. Now the defending champion, 2010, it's all about defending his title. So this is Bevan Muir, and I just wonder what is going through his mind, because he has just seen his teammate, his brother-in-law, not so much throw away the championship, but make it very, very hard for himself. And now he's put himself back in the favourite seat. He can go better than the top 4. I think he can pinch the title right out from under the nose of his brother-in-law.
He just had the boat lose traction, so he's trying hard. He can't afford to make a mistake here because the championship is still not over. As you said, Phil, he still has to get into the top 4. 23.10. That's a fast split, but not still quite as quick as Richard Murray's 22.86.
No, that's right. Murray's setting the pace at the moment. But this guy, I guess, is thinking, look, just make it through to the 4. Just make it through to the 4. Let's hope he can do it. You're on board here with Wicked A, Ting Tools Racing, Bevan Muir and Kathy Parker, the defending champions. Can they go back to back? We will find out in a couple of eliminations time.
Baden's problems aside, they've also had issues with the boat with a rebuild during the week. Here's the time coming up for Bevan Muir. Part 1 looking to be completed. 55.58 ranks him first.
Sam, Reg has got a task for you. He needs you to beat Bevan, but not him.
Well, that's a big ask, isn't it? Anything's possible. I mean, unfortunate things happen, like what happened to Baden, it's condolences go out to him, but, that's racing. I've been told that many a time in the lights, and even coming up to this year, getting the Group A's. And I told you before, you've got to be consistent, so...
Well, Bevan Muir's time eliminated Sam's father, Mark. Now, as you heard him say, he's got a bit of a job to do. I tell you what, it's a pretty big ask because I don't think he's beaten Ting Tools Racing all season long.
Yeah, this is one of the upcomers in the sport, though. They've done a 57.12 in the top 16 for their fastest time, so they're there or thereabouts. They could prove to be a surprise here if they can get their splits down and just clean up the second half of the lap.
Well, that's right. Let's have a look for the split now. 23.68. Not quite the split of Bevan Muir, but close enough. He's got to bring it home fast now in this difficult rotation at Featherston.
Only half a second down in the GJ Gardner-Holmes boat.
Sam Newdick on the journey here. Can he do the impossible? He's got problems.
Big
it's flamed out. And when the boat flames out, you got no steering, and sounds silly to say it, but no braking either. That's why he's up against the tyres.
I was feeling fine. I was quite happy with the run. And just coming down through the middle section there, the just flame blew out. I don't know what it is. I think it might be just an oil problem or something like that. I don't know. It just shut off all completely, and just obviously with the jet boat, you got no control, and it just went straight.
Well, we have seen so many dramas in the early stages of the eliminations here in Scott Waterjet's International Group A. Is it going to be a clean run for this man? This is Reg and his wife Julie sitting alongside him in the navigator's seat. Now the championship is definitely on his mind.
So Sam Newdick eliminated. Blake Bryant now sits on the bubble. Bevan Muir looks to be comfortably through to the 4 at the moment. Can Reg Smith get in there? And maybe an upset, but drama. It has just been so drama-filled through today. 23.02.
Well, that's faster than Bevan Muir, but not as fast as Richard Murray's split. So is Murray going to be the spoiler here? Can he play his part in the championship as well? You're on board here with Reg and Julie Smith, about halfway around this difficult rotation at Featherston.
And up until the top 8, this boat has been the quickest boat here for the final at a 56.32 in the 16. Bevan Muir has just managed to go quicker than that, the 8 at a 55.58.
I just wonder if Reg is thinking, I just need to make the 4, I just need to make the 4. They're heading down towards the finish line now. Don't think it's going to be in the 55s, it isn't, but only just 56.05. So on the board, Bevan Muir on the top of the table here as we go into the all-important final 4. Bevan Muir on top, Reg Smith, Richard Murray and Ray Ferguson. So Ray Ferguson, the slowest of the qualifiers, first to go, sitting alongside him, his wife Nikki. They've been a combination that have been together now for 4 or 5 seasons, and you'd have to say it's been a very good combination.
Yeah, outstanding combination. They've had experience in Group A and Superboat. I think there's some
Oh, you're right, Jamie. They've gone wrong. Well, has the pressure got to Ray and Nikki Ferguson? Have a look at it on the split screen from the round of 8 and the round of 4. Watch on the right-hand side of your screen.
Should have turned right through that centre island part of the course. He didn't make it.
Oh, and look at the reaction in the boat. Ray Ferguson knows it's gone. Whatever chance they had is now gone. They've gone wrong in the 4. They'll complete the run, but it's all academic. Well, they say when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and that's what we've got at Featherston.
What about this guy, Richard Murray, sitting alongside him, Kirsty Manning? They have been the giant killers over the last couple of rounds, did a fantastic job both in the organisation and the driving under lights at Wanganui for round 5, and that fantastic run's continued here, Jamie.
Brand new white pointer Stinger Hull have gone with the Ford engine later on in the season, and it's really working for them. They've done a fantastic job. They were the quickest split in the top 8 run, or the boat up out of the water.
Well, they say you ride your luck, but I tell you what, he rode the island there big time.
Cost him some time too, 24.02 at the split, so he's about a second and a half down on what he did in the top 8 run, so it's cost him time.
Well, that 22 he did in the top 8 was just unworldly.
First part of the run certainly was very, very good. He needs to make up some time here in the second part of the run. Needs to beat a 76.66 from Ray Ferguson to at least get through one more position, but with Bevan Muir and Reed Smith still to come.
Oh, I don't think he's going to do it. They come down towards the finish line now. Big long shoot here at Featherston. It's going to be in the 58s, 58.25. You're right, that trip on the island cost him big time.
Last round, amazing. You know, good for the crowd, good for the sport, good for the high company boat. It's all good.
You can still do it. This is the top 4. If you're first and he's 4th, you win it.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, I mean, we've all been consistent all year, and I guess it's starting to pay off for us. So this is pretty good averages, I believe. But I think it'll be pretty tight. I mean, he's beating us by 200ths of a second at the moment, so it's going to be tight. That's for sure.
Well, Red Smith, we've been calling him the veteran right throughout the season. I tell you what, not too much phases the man originally from Taupo, and he's got his wife sitting alongside him in the navigator's seat, but that's a pretty rugged start. He got so close to the land coming out of turn 1.
Well, he might have to lay it all on the line here, as we heard in the interview. If he can win this and Bevan Muir finishes 4th, he could still win the championship. And I think going into this top 4 round, Baden Gray and Bevan Muir are effectively tied on points. That's how close it's got down to the final round of the championship.
Good split time, 23.10 for Red Smith. Now Ray Ferguson on the bubble, so he's about to put it on the trailer, and there's this guy makes a mistake.
We talked about consistency. He is consistent at the moment. He's only 800 slower than his previous split in the top 8. How tidy can he keep it for the second part of the run? Brand new white pointer Stinger Hull.
It looks a bit ragged, but it looks fast too.
Usually see Reed Smith being very, very smooth, but I think he's got the elbows up and he's hustling it to the line.
He's letting it all hang out, and it's a 55.63 for Reggie, so he's in the hunt.
That's quick.
Well, it comes down to the shoulders of this man. You heard Jamie say going into this, the top 4. He and his teammate and his brother-in-law tied on points. The big difference is Baden Gray won't go any further. This guy can win another championship.
He really just needs to complete this run and be within a second of Reed Smith, because all he has to do is beat a 58.25 from Richard Murray, who now sits on the bubble.
I wonder what he's going to do, because sometimes when you back off, you get a bit of a loss of concentration. Well, he hasn't backed off. 22.65 at the split. Faster than Smithy.
That's the quickest split so far through from the top 16, the 8 and the 4. So he's on a mission here in Ting Tools Racing.
Well, he signals his intentions, hasn't he? He wants to go out in a blaze of glory. He wants to get that championship #1 for another season. And he's in the catbird seat to do it.
He's grazed the tyres on that swing
I just wonder if it took him any time. He hit it quickly, but as you said, Jamie, just grazed it, coming down to the finish line now. Are we going to see another 55-second run here?
This is quick.
It is quick. It is a 55.08, so Bevan Muir tops the charts in the top 4, and by our calculations, he is the defending and the new champion in Scott Waterjet International Group A, and he will face Reg Smith in the final.
By our calculations, you're the top qualifier in the 4. That means that you're through to the 2. That means you're the new New Zealand champion again.
Unbelievable. Jeez, just how the dice rolls, eh?
Do you realise how close you came to throwing that championship away on those tyres over there?
Oh, do I what? Yeah, that was close. Did you hear it time?
Yep, you did a 55.08.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
Qualified.
Bit to improve on, eh?
Well, I don't know if he can improve on that. We will see now, because all the times we've had before don't mean a thing. It came down to 2 boats. And once again, Reg has a rugged start as he gets very close to the island coming out of turn 1.
A bit to improve on. Muir's just done the fastest lap of the weekend at a 55.08. The king of understatement. I think he might have eclipsed Duncan Wilson in those stakes. Split coming up for Reggie Smith. It's quick, 22.68. That's his best split. He's on a run and a half here.
Well, 23.10 was his best. He's down in the 22s. This is for pride. I don't think he can do anything about the national title, but he can certainly win the battle, if not the war. He can certainly take out the sixth and final round here at Featherston.
Muir's got 6/10 on him in lap times, but as you said, Phil, lap times do not make a difference now. It is all down to these final 2 runs. The slate is clean. Reggie Smith bringing it home.
Well, are we going to see another 55-second run here from the veteran? Reg and Julie Smith heading down to the finish line now. Forget 55. What about 54.90?
He's gone 7/10 quicker than his previous best, so he's got something for Bevan Muir to have to work with.
Well, we were pretty astounded with Bevan Muir's time last time round. That was the 55.08. Smithy's done a 54. What's this guy going to do? He's got nothing to prove. He's the back-to-back champion in Scott Water Jets Group A, but I don't think he'll want to go out with a whimper. I think he'll want to go out with a bang.
Well, he reckoned he can improve on a 55.08. He's got something to work with. Split coming up. It's quick. Oh, 22.25.
So that is the fastest split we've seen, and this is what we want, don't we? In the last elimination, they should be hanging it on the line. They should be giving it everything, and that's what Bevan Muir and Kathy Barker are doing.
Well, he's gone 4/10 quicker than his previous best to the split, so it is game on here for Bevan Muir up against Reg Smith. Needs to beat a 54.9 again, runs it a little bit wide. He's using the full width of the track on that straight over the far side.
Well, what's he going to do? Is he going to do it? He's got the championship. Can he get the round win here at Featherston? Coming down towards the finish line now. You ride with him here. It's a 54. It's a 54.81. He does it
by 1/10 of a second.
So Bevan Muir caps what is almost a perfect day for Ting Tools Racing. He wins the national title. He wins the sixth and final round of the championship. The congratulations from Reg Smith. The big crowd acknowledging what amazing racing, what drama-filled racing we've seen here in Featherston, and it caps the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships in Scott Water Jet in a fulfilling way. Bevan Muir is the new champion. He wins it by just 4 points from his brother-in-law, Baden Gray. Reg Smith's deeds don't go unrecognised. He gets third. Great performance from Sam Newdick in his first season in Scott Water Jet Group A. He comes up with 4th place.